Hello and welcome back to the 3 myths that product managers believe which keep them from making money with their products and what you can do about it. This is the second episode. In the previous episode we talked about the symptom developers are so expensive and take so long, and I showed you that this is based on a myth on the third place of our charts, and the myth is costs for development are labor costs. And if you believe that, you start hopeless efforts like outsourcing of development activities to foreign countries. This time, the next symptom that we address today, development requires high investment and you have to wait for a long time until you see a return on this investment. The symptom is caused by a myth that's called completeness and consistency will pay off. In our industry, we thrive for completeness and consistency in many cases. For example, we are trying to find all requirements before starting to work on the solution architecture of our product. We're trying to finish the whole solution before it can go into testing. Or we're trying to test everything before it can be released. Completeness seems to matter for us, but completeness requires high investment. You have to invest much time and much money before you get anything. Why? Because large batches play a role here. For example, large batches of requirements. They require large investment before you see anything coming back, and they take a very long time until they pass the next gate, if you use a phased gate approach, for example. You capture all requirements before you start development. Say you write 20 of them, 20 requirements documents, and if you look at those documents, what does document number 1 do while you write documents 2 to 20? Or look at document number 2, what does it do while you're writing number 3 to number 20? Or while you're writing number 1. The document number 1 waits until number 20 is also eventually finished. So large batches cause a long time for the partial results waiting in the queue. Imagine the same batch but with the size of, let's say, 100 requirements documents. So when you look again at document number 1, now it has to wait for 99 others to finish before document number 1 can proceed to the next stage. For example, to the solution architecture. So completeness doesn't pay off but causes cost of delay. Same thing for development and test. Feature number 1 is waiting until eventually feature number 20 is also ready, so that they can be tested together. Sometimes test teams say, don't give too much incremental code to us. We want to test all at once. That saves us cost. But this causes delay. It's kind of a yogurt factory that buys too much fresh milk. The milk will deteriorate before it can be turned into sellable yogurt. Same thing for defects in products. The number of defects increases with time because people forget things, and the older an intermediate result is, the less people know about its meaning. People make more mistakes because the older the intermediate result is they're working with, they forget more easily about it, and then they start making mistakes. And the number of defects, studies show that it increases more than linear with the time the partial results have spent in the process. So large batches make you lose money. An example for a requirements document again. Let's say you write a requirements document for $60,000. The developers are working on something else and they do not have time to write the code until 3 months later. Meanwhile, they have forgotten what's in the document and they don't understand it anymore. So now the document is worth $0. It has lost $1,000 per working day. Let's say 3 months equals 60 working days, so $1,000 per day after it was finished. It's a kind of depreciation of value. So how do you escape from this? What should you really do? The answer is use small batches. For example, write a document that's worth only $10,000, then develop the code for $20,000, then test it for $10,000 and release it for another $10,000, and find a good customer who pays $75,000 for it. If you add up the first 5 numbers, you get $50,000. So you have spent $50,000, you get 75 back, and you divide this by the initial investment of 10,000, and you get 250% return on investment. Not so bad, isn't it? But this doesn't work for all cases. In some cases, you need slightly larger batches. For example, software architecture is an activity that needs some look ahead because it's simply too expensive to change frequently. Software architecture contains the important decisions about the system or about the product that cannot be easily changed or frequently changed without causing too many costs. So in this case, the batch of requirements may be a little larger, but it pays off only when you save more in terms of cost of change than you lose in terms of cost of delay, while the requirements are waiting in the queue. Right? So the batches should be a little larger for elaborating a software architecture, but not too large so that they cause too much delay. So we call that the holding cost of a batch. Watch out for the holding cost, not only for the initial costs of the batch. The holding cost of a batch is the cost that occurs when you do not forward the batch into the next processing step. I can show you how to work in small batches that are neither too large nor too small. I can help you find the right batch size that matches your activity. And I can show you how to use a holistic model for investment, not an investment model that looks only at short term, but also at long term investment flow. And I can show you how to keep your processes lean and your business agile so that you can react quickly on new market windows, for example. But just a minute before we do that, let's look at the winner of the charts of the worst 3 myths in product development first. I'll do that in the next video. I'll destroy a myth about value creation through product features. We have talked about cost and we have talked about investment now. So now let's talk about value and revenue. Stay tuned. You will like it. See you then. Matthias Bohlen here.